Hello, everybody. Welcome to Paranormal Insights. I'm William Becker, your host. And today, my guest is the amazing Kathy Guinn. Kathy is the, correct me if I'm wrong,
Founder?
founder, I thought, of the Porterville Ghost Society, and
Yes.
a great person and a great friend. And
Thank you.
we're pleased to have her via Skype. It'd be nice to have her here in person, but later. So,
Oh, yeah. We'll plan that.
good, good. How's everything going for you? Doing well today?
S- Doing well and trying to stay,
Trying to stay warm?
cool.
Okay.
I had to turn my work phone right now.
Okay, very good.
Busy lady.
Yes, I appreciate you taking the time to be here. Yeah,
Yes.
being cool is not something that's working too well for a lot of people up here right now either.
Right.
Um, just kind of diving into it, how did you get involved in the paranormal? This is kind of a strange field, or what got you started? How long ago?
I've always been interested in the paranormal as a little kid. I've had a lot of experiences on my own and with my own family.
Mm-hmm.
Seen weird things, heard weird stuff. I was always the kid that was walking down the neighborhood, and if there was an old, rundown, abandoned house, I'm like, I'm gonna go check it out. If I got hurt, I would never tell my parents or get it.
Uh-huh.
And then back in, I think 2006, when everybody got pregnant, that went. So we just did in two different places in Porterville,
Okay.
which is a little western town back in the day.
Uh-huh.
And we've had our share of checkered past. So I thought, I'm going to go talk to people and see if they let us into places. And surprisingly, a lot of people were receptive. So we were able to investigate old buildings in town
Mm-hmm.
as well as private residences, apartment buildings, just cool places, and not just hunting. I love the idea of UFOs,
Uh-huh.
Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
We've trampled around Bigfoot territory, which is about 17, 20 miles above Porterville.
Okay.
Uh, And my deceased husband would talk about the Bigfoot on his property that they actually encountered. And to hear him tell the story, you believed him,
Wow.
especially when friends collaborated on the same experiences
Mm-hmm.
with no variation in the story.
Fantastic.
That was interesting. Plus, I've had experience with strange objects in the sky coming down to us. I know it sounds out there, but I know it's true. I felt it, saw it, everything. So I know I experienced it. I'm a pretty sane, educated, intelligent woman,
Yes.
and I wouldn't give that up for attention. I didn't need attention anyway. I was one of those kids that just loved it anyway.
Wow. That's fantastic. Now, have you seen Bigfoot?
No, and that aggravates me. I would love to. I've heard the sound.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard the call.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Me and my friends were on the Tule River Reservation years ago, and I heard this. It's weird. I've heard a mountain lion.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard a bobcat. I've heard coyotes, wolves, bears. I know what they sound like.
Right.
Heard people screaming.
Mm-hmm.
This was not human. It wasn't a mountain lion. It wasn't a coyote, wolf. It was something different.
Wow.
And when we heard that howl, scream, however you wanted to describe it,
Mm-hmm.
the dogs all put their tails underneath their legs and they flew under the houses. And all I know is the guys just like girls get in the house or, you know, just go hide because I think Red Man's coming. That's what they called it.
Okay.
And that's the time I experienced it.
Okay. Well, I've got.
I can't hear
I'm
you.
sorry. Can you hear me now? Is that better? Can you hear?
I can't hear you.
Okay. To the control booth. She can't hear me. Yeah. We can.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Yeah. Okay.
And it shows that it's not muted or anything.
Yeah. Um, they're working on. Um,
I don't know sign language, Gina, so you want to write? There you go.
yeah. Uh,
There's always an alternative. Okay, I got you on speaker.
okay. Um, let's see that. I don't know if they're going to be able to record this. Okay. We'll try it this way and see what happens.
Okay, we can try.
Yeah.
We can try.
This is
I can hear you now because you're on the phone.
yeah. And it's the second time they've used the Skype. It's a brand new system, and um, we'll see how it goes.
Well, let's work the bugs out.
Yeah.
Let's go with the flow.
Exactly, and hopefully they'll get it back live. Otherwise, the last one we had bad sound too, but this is interesting.
It's all a learning curve. It's all cool.
Exactly. Great. One of the things I guess I have a one-up on you, though, is that I did get to see Bigfoot.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
But I didn't have
Wow.
near the experience with the UFOs that you've had. So I've seen one, but it wasn't close enough to really give an experience or anything.
Well, it was a silver. Me and my brother were in the front yard, and we just recently talked about it, which is really weird.
Uh-huh.
We were in the front yard playing. We were about maybe 9 and 10 years old. And we saw this. We lived out in the country. Everybody did. Porterville was all country.
Right.
And we were just playing, and we saw this weird looking, I'm going to say about the size of a basketball, silver sphere.
Mhm.
And it had like lines around it and little, it looked like little rivets. And I don't know if it was somebody was trying to play a trick on us. I don't think they had that technology back then. I won't divulge my age right here, but actually, yeah, I'm 57.
You're a
Anyway,
youngster.
when I was a kid, we found that sphere came toward us, and it.
Wow. Yeah, because now your voice has gone away from Skype, but now I need to hear you on the phone. It is weird.
Sound. I mean, the feel of it was like,
So you were
I can't, it's just weird.
you
My
were
brother
actually
did the
able
same
to
thing.
touch it then.
Yes, and it didn't feel like it was bad. It was just like it was looking at us, and like I know, like it sounds bizarre, crazy, but I was a kid, a 10-year-old kid, and I remember that vividly. And I told my mom about it. When she came out, we're like, Mom, come out and look at this. And by the time she came out, I think she saw just the tail end of it, and she's like, what's that? And back then, they didn't have those Mylar balloons.
Right. Right.
You know, it was like the mid-'60s,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, mid to about late 60s when that happened. So it was probably about like 67, 68. And yeah, it was the strangest thing. And I'll never, ever, ever forget that in my whole life. That was I feel it was a privilege to experience that, to actually see this deer come down and say hello. I don't know what it was.
That's just amazing. I've never heard a story like that one before.
Yeah, and my brother will tell you the same story. He'll tell you exactly the same story.
Oh, I believe it. Fantastic.
Yeah.
How exciting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still remember it today, clear, really, really clear. It's like still there in my mind, in my eyes, by touching it, everything.
And your finger was able to go into it when you touched it.
Inside of it, it was like it was like ever see that movie where they had that forgot the name, Abyss, when that creature would form out of water and whatever the shape was, and they would put their finger inside and it would come back out and there was no water or anything. That's what it was.
Wow.
And it was cool to the touch. It wasn't like ice cold or hot. It was just like lukewarm. Cool. But there was no, I remember my finger wasn't wet. It wasn't moist or anything. It was just like dry.
Fascinating.
But your finger kind of plunged inside of it, and that was it. And I remember it pulled back just a little bit.
And that's hard to know then. Is this an elemental, or is it an alien, or is it both? Or
yeah. What was it? And as a kid, I didn't even know that stuff existed.
No.
So it's just strange. But you and your Bigfoot, wow, man.
Well, I needed to see one before I'd believe. But I went out with Michael Beers and Kathleen Studart last year, and to a site the Bigfoot made me promise not to disclose. That's one nice thing. I get to talk to him because I can talk to him psychically. And I always wanted him to be true, but I had to see one before I could believe it. And it was tall and huge and moving back and forth on two legs in front of the trees, and the trees weren't moving. There wasn't any wind. It was at night, but there was enough moonlight and stuff to see. I still cannot think of anything else that it possibly could have been. And
is it spiritual? Is it spiritual? Is it an earth spirit?
They are. We had a lot of activity of all kinds while we were there, including others, and everybody, the entities, including Bigfoot, told me the same thing, that they do come in and out of other dimensional, and so they are really an other in a sense as well, and that's part of why we don't find any solid evidence of them. And
yes, that is so validating, because I've always had that feeling that they're interdimensional creatures. That's why we don't find anything. There's no evidence, physical evidence, but so many people can't be wrong.
Exactly. And the photos, I mean, part of it is the ones I've talked to now, do not want physical evidence. They don't want us to be able to prove they exist because of the people. We had an adolescent, there was a family of 3 that we didn't see physically, but we could hear them in places and sense them, and I was able to communicate. And the adolescent girl with Michael is one of these people who is so patient and interested in all of the beings and such, and has had so many experiences that they build up trust with him pretty quickly. And the adolescent female was interested in touching him or coming out, and the father one was no. And what the comment was, nothing good comes from man. Nothing good follows man. And he's right. I mean, we were on a logging road that was blasted by a quarry. I mean, they
tearing up their home.
Yeah, and they, no matter how respectful we are, we're still an intrusion, and very smart beings that way. And I hate to use the word human, like in thinking and such, because in a sense that might be putting them down, but this on a psychic level, a telepathic level, very much that way, that was able to come through. And so
man, that is amazing. Amazing. I could see us sitting up a few nights talking about that.
I can too. And I'm planning. I'm planning, especially after our conversation earlier. No, where we're talking. Yeah. so many things to talk about, and maybe we can actually, who knows, go find something. Um, what kinds of things are you working on now? I mean, I know your organization is pretty active with a lot of civic work. I mean, we met at the fundraiser for the museum.
Yeah, and also if I'm sure you noticed, we also had a pile of pet food coming too. We, on top of the benefit for the museum, and we had our very close friend Barry Fitzgerald show up, and you've met him. He's a beautiful man.
Yeah, absolutely. He and his wife Donna are just amazingly wonderful people.
Lovely. They're like my family.
Mhm.
We're family.
Mhm.
And they, as a little incentive to throw people's tickets in the for an opportunity for an overnight at Allensworth State Historic Park,
Mhm.
we asked them that we really believe in giving back, and especially animals we hold near and dear to our heart.
Mhm.
So if they brought over a 5-pound bag of dog food or cat food, or food or toys or something for their care, so we can give to shelter pets. People really, really responded. We
Mhm.
must have had about 500 pounds of dog and cat food donated.
Wow.
And I was able to disperse it to some feral cat colony caretakers,
Okay.
people that foster puppies, who actually do an active part in trying to rescue, foster, and adopt out the unwanted homeless animals in Porterville.
Excellent.
And it was such a blessing. And they got the opportunity to have an overnight, and a couple won. And I also made a really strong connection with one of them who does rescue, and he's attached to a big nonprofit. So now I have almost an unending stream of food and supplies, and also fostering an adoption opportunity to help the animals in this area. So,
Outstanding.
it is, yeah. We have big hearts, and we love our community.
Mhm.
And to me, if you want your community to grow, you need to give back and help it stay enriched, and that's what we do.
Mhm. Everybody was so nice when I was down there. I mean, your team was amazing to me, and I felt so warm and welcome. But just people in town, the hotel, the restaurants, the museum people were outstanding. Um, I was very impressed, and sometimes going to small towns, you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, are they cliquey? Are they standoffish? Porterville, we're so multicultural. We have a big Hispanic population, a big Southeast Asian. We have a Native American community. The reservation is just above the hills from us. Caucasian. We have African American. We have people of Middle Eastern heritage. We're really truly a melting pot of the Central Valley.
Yeah.
We're in the middle. We're between Fresno and Bakersfield, and we are mainly agricultural based and dairy products, oranges, everything else. My cats are coming to visit me.
Oh, good. They're sweet.
All that kind of stuff. I know. Yeah, you got to meet all my babies.
Yeah.
And so Porterville's pretty welcoming to people. You're not going to have, everybody's not going to be perfect. That's it. But it's a pretty warm little community. People care about each other, and we give back. We enjoy living here. This is my hometown.
Fantastic.
I'm glad, and I'm really glad to hear you had a good experience here. That's good.
Yeah, I wasn't ready to leave, but
we didn't want to go either.
it was hard. I mean, for those that didn't know, the morning before I left, I went over to Kathy's, and Barry and Donna were staying there, and Don and Ruben were there, and Shannon was there, and of course, and it was fantastic, and I didn't want to leave, but it was 13-hour drive, something like that. So
yeah, it was a long drive.
Yeah.
So, and we understood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish, and I felt bad. I'm like, gosh, I should have told him to be here the day before. Oh my God, I didn't even think about it. I wasn't thinking.
Oh,
But next time it's not going to wind up that way. You'll be more than happy. We'll just throw you on the sofa if we have to.
that sounds good. I do sofas. Okay. Um, but oh, now what else do you guys have going on? The team, the organization, um, anything happening?
Nothing that's well. We have a private investigation that we're lining up, and it has to be so confidential because
Right.
of where it's located at.
Mm-hmm.
So we probably have to sign releases and hold harmless clauses and everything because it's very, very sensitive area.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully, when it's done, we can disclose it. If not, it'll never be known because we're all confidential. On our team, I'm actually a mental health administrator,
Okay.
so I know all about confidential. Shannon's a registered nurse.
Mm-hmm.
I have a CHP officer on our team.
Yeah,
Um,
HIPAA and all the rest of it. You guys are. Mm-hmm.
we're pretty we're pretty straight up, and we've got some pretty class people on the team. We have archaeologists. We have a parapsychologist. We have and we have consults from everywhere. Barry's part of the team,
Yeah.
and his wife,
Mm-hmm.
and he consults with us quite a bit and runs stuff by us. And we're just, I'm just so fortunate to have such a good team that's professional as well as caring.
Mm-hmm.
And we're a big family where we really genuinely care for each other,
Mm-hmm.
our families, our interests, and the community.
That's
So we
fantastic.
do have lots of things coming up. We have things coming up, and we like to do a yearly event with Barry,
Uh-huh.
just because he's so accommodating and friendly,
Right.
and we have a good time anyway. It's fun.
Good. Good. Yeah, he's just. Um, I don't know. I don't have a word to describe everything. It was magical in a sense, and
Sometimes there's people that come into your life that have always belonged there,
mm-hmm.
and then when you find them, you don't want to let go,
Exactly.
and that's how it's meant to be. Yeah,
Exactly.
I believe that.
I believe it. I believe it. Um, Now, do you have anything else out there as far as books, as far as activities that you've worked on? Anything?
So I do is I do a lot of feline rescue and fostering. I pay out of my own pocket to get them fixed and cared for.
Mm-hmm.
I don't write. I love writing. I love reading. I just don't have the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I like scary stuff. I like to scare myself because it's all fantasy anyway. Yeah, like Stephen King's my favorite author.
Okay.
I love him. I also like Dean Koontz
Mm-hmm.
and John Grisham because I like to think.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm recently started taking up hiking
Oh,
in
nice.
Sequoia National Forest.
Uh-huh.
Love it. Love hiking. Get out there in that wilderness, smell that dirt and those pines. Just experience nature
Yeah.
in its purest. You can just get enveloped in it. Wonderful.
Oh, yeah. I saw the pictures you posted on Facebook, and it looked incredible.
Oh, it's beautiful there. Beautiful. Love it. The Sequoia National Forest is like about an hour away from us.
Not bad at all.
So it's like right in our backyard. So
Mhm.
why not? It's
Yep.
beautiful. Love it.
Yeah. I just have to be careful. I have an aversion to things like rattlesnakes.
Yeah, you just if it sounds like a sprinkler, it's probably a rattlesnake. So just go around.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
I'm a country girl. We're used to that kind of stuff.
Okay. Well, in the country where I live, we don't have them. But
Yeah.
I've lived where we have. I mean, when I was little, we lived in Paisley for 3 years, and the joke was the rattlesnakes even had to carry a canteen. But
Oh, geez. Yeah.
that kind of
Yeah.
desert. But no, what do you think the entities? We'll start out. I'll use the word ghost. I hate the word, but simply to mean the 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 beings that we run across that are from the living, compared to others or fae or anything else you want to look at. But the ones that were from the living. Um,
Well, I've had my experience with both because I took a trip to Ireland back in November to stay with Barry and Donna.
mhm.
They took me to wonderful places. So I experienced Faye. I also heard the Banshee.
Mhm.
That was quite an experience on its own.
Okay.
Um, and I've also experienced the spiritual world. I think the difference is I believe that the Fae are more earth elemental. They're spiritual in nature,
Mhm.
and I think so. They're more. They're in and out. They are their own bosses. They control their universe. You
Right.
want to see them, they won't. You won't see them. If they want to see you, they'll let you see them.
Mhm.
They are their own boss.
Right.
They call the shot.
Mhm.
Spirit, human spirit, I believe are still here because I don't. Some of them don't even know they're gone,
Okay.
or they have unfinished business, or they just don't want to leave. Maybe they feel an attachment to a place that maybe in their childhood that was, or their young adulthood, or whatever stage in their life was a happy time, or maybe a sad time. I think most human spirits are based on emotion
Mhm.
and feelings and that kind of stuff, or attachments to objects and places and things and people.
Okay.
An elemental or a fae to me is more on their own terms.
Okay.
They can come and go as they please.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now, do you think with the human that they are also though part of the soul, or mostly part of the energy most of the time that was attached or important in the place, but the soul itself is gone?
I think it's the energy. I think there might be a little bit of soul. I mean, I don't know the answers. That's why we do this, because we're trying to find an answer.
Right.
Because it's so fascinating. There's so much out there, and there's no expert. There's no professional on this, in my opinion. We could be all doing this for years, and we may get a total different reaction or a total different answer 2 days from now. Like, oh my God, I had it all wrong this whole time.
Yeah.
I think we have to quit being so full of ourselves and just take it and if we have the experience, take it as a gift, because not everybody's given that gift, the opportunity to hear a disembodied voice or to see a shadow person or somebody coming by you or taking that picture or experiencing that cold spot or somebody or something to achieve. Take it as a gift because it's very, very rare. And we don't, and we are not the experts. We're in their world.
Exactly.
We're on borrowed time as well. And you mentioned the respect thing earlier.
Right.
Even with all respect, maybe they don't want anybody around. Maybe they were a loner. Maybe they weren't the greatest person walking on earth back then, and they're still angry or still in sorrow or have a lot of remorse. So I think the energy, back to the energy and the feelings, I think it can be very powerful and imprint in that area. And that's how I feel. I could be wrong. I could find out a whole new thing tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, remember what I said? I'm going to take it all back. Because I don't know.
Well, it fits my experience as a psychic with the areas and what they say, and also why you can experience different ways of different people and the differences between somebody coming down and visiting compared to that piece of them that they left there. What you're talking about fits exactly with my understanding of the whole thing. So,
well, it's interesting you say that because your energy was still here for a few days.
Oh, really? Whoops, sorry.
Yes. No, it was enjoyable. It was
Okay.
just I'll be corny. It just felt very loving
Oh,
and
good.
very caring.
Great.
Yeah,
Because that's what
and I could feel the essence.
I felt there and from everybody. So I really appreciate that. And
Okay.
yeah, definitely we're going to have to come down for another visit before long.
Oh,
So,
absolutely, and we're going to have to make a trip over there.
absolutely.
And leave some of our energy there too.
Absolutely. I have a guest room. Right now, it's a storage room, but I'm working on it.
I'll give you a 2-day notice.
That'll
I'll
be
give you
good
a
enough.
week's notice. How's that?
Okay, that'll work. That'll work. Yeah.
Okay.
And we're working on it anyway. I have 4 Dutch people flying in October to spend a month, and so that room in the den will be ready before then. So, but definitely,
Awesome.
yeah, definitely. There are lots of places up here I'd love to take you and show, and
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, I'd like to take you here. We have the Barn Theater, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
The oldest active theater in California.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
Fantastic.
And take you there. We'll take you to Allensworth, which
Yep.
is that's our playhouse. We love it. That's our happy spot. Maybe take a trip up to the Sequoias.
Fantastic.
Take you to a couple other places.
I'd love it.
Yeah.
I'd love it.
Mhm.
I'd love it.
Mhm. In Ireland with all the old castles, we got stuff right here.
Yeah. Yeah. And the connection with the Fae is very real. I've gotten messages from ones here, from ones in England, because,
Oh wow.
well, they're in a different dimension that's theirs, and they're all part of the same communities, I think, in their own ways. There's an interaction or a communication or a something. I don't know. They haven't enlightened me with the whole thing yet, but
I think they will. I think they will because
Yeah.
we're like, you know how like always is attracted to like.
Mhm.
I think we're almost like bug light,
mm-hmm.
and the spirits are attracted to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying shiny or like neon green or everything else, but they're attracted to you and they sense something different. And they're attracted to that, and they're going to come to you, and they're going to communicate. But I think I see that. I feel that. I'm not a psychic. I don't say I am. People have told me, you could read me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that because it scares me, for one thing. I've seen some of my medium friends actually affected mentally and physically because
Mhm.
of all the empathic stuff that they, all the feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I don't want to do that. So I shut myself down.
Right. And I
quite
can,
a bit to
and I,
protect myself.
yeah, and I understand. And I can help you if you want, where you can work on that and open up what you want to and not what you don't want to. And
Right.
Rheostats and different things in a sense. So,
Yeah, I would be interested in that.
yeah. And so we can do that. We can even do that over Skype. Hopefully, though, with the sound not having to come through the cell phones.
But you know what? We fixed it, didn't we?
We did.
We did it.
We did. 2 great minds.
Resourcefulness.
And I'm still
Yeah.
not hearing you through Skype, so it still hasn't been fixed. And I've got the speaker close.
I'm not hearing you either.
Yeah, I've got the
I'm
speaker
hearing you
close
through here.
to my mic, and well, Kathy, I'm going to need to sign off here. I know they need the
Okay.
studio again, but I can't thank you enough. What is the name of or your website and your email for people? If
It's www.portervilleghostsociety.com. We're short and simple. Great people. Love them all. And if people need to get a hold of me just to debate or talk or say hey, I'm on Facebook under Kathy Guinn. We also have a Facebook page, Porterville Ghost Society. Go like us and
Mhm.
keep up to date in our events. And they can get a hold of me at cat@portervilleghostsociety.com, and there you go.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, and my love to everybody on the team.
You're so welcome.
And
We love you too, William.
thank you. And we'll chat soon. Bye bye.
Okay, take care.
You too.
Bye.